Good morning, boaters. It's probably not morning when you're watching this, but today we're gonna fix a boat. This little guy runs like crap. It's about that time that you guys get to see a diagnostic procedure on a newer 4-stroke. This is gonna be easy. Let's get started. Okay. This is a 2013 Yamaha 99. Hey, Bubba. What are you doing? What are you doing, Bubba? What are you doing? This is not about you right now. Are you being a guard dog? What do you see? What do you see? Let's, step one, gonna be recreate the complaint. So we're gonna put the muffs on the hose, put the hose on the boat. Fire it up, see what it sounds like. Let's go for it. Okay, I got the hose running on it. I can already tell this might be carburetor related. Hard starting. So just want to make sure this is good. This is not my boat, so I don't know if it's got a shut off. If it does, I'm gonna kick somebody's ass because it shouldn't. Okay, we just got a fuel filter and main line to tank. That's pretty cut and dry. No shut offs. Should never put a shut off on your fuel line. It's cold-blooded, I think. It's almost there. Obviously won't start forward. Yeah. So if you push in right here and go forward just a little bit, in right here and go forward, that's going to be your high idle. That's a free rev. Yeah, that's in. A little bit more. Pushing in on the key is choke. Give it a couple squirts here. Try real quick, wide open. Okay, boggy. Oh yeah, barely running. We're at like probably quarter throttle too. Okay. Problem confirmed. Runs like crap. Okay, it will idle. Good deal. So, step one, done. Recreated complaint. Step two, we're gonna pull the cowl off. We're going to connect a spark tester. We're gonna start it back up with spark tester inline, and we're going to do that on both of the cylinders. If we see the same amount of spark, good consistent spark on both cylinders, then we'll pull the spark plugs out, do a compression test. If that all checks out, then we're turning the carburetor off. So next trick, get my spark tester in line with one of the spark plug wires. Let me climb out of this skyscraper real quick. Okay, handy dandy inline spark tool. This one is a Cornwell special. You don't have to buy one of these off the tool truck. They come in all different shapes inside. Hell, I think Harbor Freight's even got one. Okay. You see what that is? That looks like backfire. Maybe not. Maybe just dirty. A little corrosion going on. Timing belt is made in Japan, so that's never been changed. It's still there though. And carburetor, let's see here. So what I like to look for on a carburetor, you see these bolts hold on the carburetor. If you look closely, there's definitely been a wrench on that at some point in its life, which could be good, which could be bad. But that does mean that somebody's been in here before, which is better than not, I suppose. Depends on who was in there. Okay, top cylinder. Remove that. Put that on there. Put this in here. One-handed, gentle. There we go. Okay, I should have brought my remote start button. That would have been smart. Could arc some shit, but it's not mine. I don't want to be scarring things with arcs. Okay, climb. This thing, look at this. I'm almost 6 foot, and this thing is eye level. It's an enormous boat. Have some root beer. Okay, fire back up. Oh, ow. Okay, make sure that's not gonna fall. Fire this back up. Push in. Oh, you gotta push in, pull the red button, then go forward. Okay. Gotta get it running. Oh, you bitch. As slow as possible without dying. Okay, you probably can't see that. It is a very consistent spark coming out of that light. Okay. Now I'm just going to trade it over to the other cylinder. 2 seconds. Okay. Now I got it on the lower cylinder. Fire this back up. Ah yes, very consistent spark. Let's see if I can't slow it down any slower. Yep, sparking fantastic. Okay, so our issue of running very poorly is not electrical, which is I'm not gonna say it's a good thing. So, because when it's not electrical, it's either fuel or major, and we're narrowing her down. So, pretty easy to figure out. Jesus, this thing's pretty easy to figure out whether or not this is major or not, simply by doing a compression test. And in order to do so, I'm sure you know how. Everybody knows how. But in case you didn't, I want to remove all the spark plugs, which is all 10 of them right here. And Come out of there. Come out of there. Jiminy. And then after the spark plugs are out, I'm going to insert this tool. Looks like this. Put that in there. Make sure it's cleared with the button. And then crank it for about 5 or 6 revolutions. And then record the number and do it on the same cylinder. Let's get started. The lower key is this motor. Go ahead and crank it. One more time. Okay. Stay there, I got one more cylinder to do. Okay, go ahead. One more time. Okay, she's got great compression. Okay. Just a little recap here. We tested for spark. We have good consistent spark on both cylinders. Not one's better than the other. Using this tool. After we did that, well, first we confirmed that it ran terrible. Next thing was good spark. And now after good spark, we did the compression test. We've got 120 pounds in each of the holes, which is more than enough. That's this motor's in really good shape internally. So, running like crap, there's really only one thing left. We've got good spark. That means all the electrical is good. We've got good compression. That means all the internal major stuff is good. The only thing that's left is fuel. And this is a carbureted motor. And this is a saltwater boat. Meaning, might need a little maintenance. So, somebody's been in here before. I can see wrench marks on the bolts here. I am not going to squirt this motor. With a 2-stroke or something that has multiple carburetors for multiple cylinders, I would spray it, because I could fire this up, get it running like crap, and then squirt some gas down the hole. But I don't know if this is running too rich or too lean. Not really a good way to know. I have a feeling that it's running lean. Now, if I squirt it, that's not going to really tell me much of anything, because it might rev up, but it would do that even if the carburetor wasn't the problem, because I'm testing it idle. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this off, and we're going to take it apart gently, because I don't have a gasket kit or anything like that. We'll go through this on the next video too, but this is a 4-stroke carburetor, which is a little bit different than the old school 2-stroke stuff that you guys seen me do before. But nonetheless, super simple. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pull this throttle rod off, just as easy as it looks. And then I'm going to pull this airbox hose off. And then I'm going to unbolt the thing. And I might have to pull this cowl cover off in order to get it out of there. And then I'll set up the camera on a little better angle, and we'll see what we find. Okay, I got the pin out. Fought me a bit. After I pulled the pin, I took the float and the needle out, and the needle just sits in this little cradle right here. So all this looks okay. And I took the secondary cap out and primary cap, or primary jet out, neither of which were plugged. Now, looking around in there, this is some PB Blaster, because that pin was stuck. But looking around in there, nothing's really abnormal. This jet in here is a little bit gummy, but any issue that we do find is really not going to be, honestly, all that major. because the motor does run. It just doesn't run well. So could be as simple as a grain of sand. So we're just going to clean it up, take it all apart, clean everything gently, and reassemble it. Not rocket science, you just gotta be careful not to destroy anything. A little bit of moisture. Oh yeah, look at that. Uh-huh. That's gross. Plugged. 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 There's your problem. Okay, blast it out, brake clean. Gonna take it over to the air compressor, hose it out with the air, and put it back together. Well, got this thing back together, and really was pretty cut and dry. Just a little recap: we checked compression, checked spark, checked timing, and pulled the carburetor off. Found a bunch of gunk in the carburetor, and cleaned up the carburetor, and reset the idle, reset the mixture. And now is a moment of truth. Just a quick little tip for you when it comes to running your boat in the yard. Obviously, don't let your hose get in the prop. But most importantly, you gotta think. An outboard is drawing water from the lake or river or ocean in this case. Plenty. You see that? See how it's squirting past the muff? That is perfect. If you turn this sucker on wide open, I'm on city water, not even like well water. You turn that sucker on wide open, it is no longer drawing water from the lake or river. It is being force-fed water, which is super hard on your water pump impeller. So, if you happen to notice that, man, I just changed this water pump impeller last year and now it's going to crap again. Well, probably because you're blasting the hell out of it with a garden hose. Much better. Oh yeah. Jesus Christ. It's like climbing out of a skyscraper on this dang thing. Looks like the weep hose is clogged or something. I shove a toothpick in there. Should be like a urine stream, not a kidney stone stream. Yep, that's perfect. Could be a smidge fast. I don't think so. I think it's just perfect. I put my my voltage meter on it with my dwell clamp, and says it's doing 800, and spec is 800, so it should be perfect. A real good indicator to find out whether or not you're idling too fast, if you don't have a dwell meter or some sort of RPM gauge, is to listen carefully when you shift it. If it goes hrunk, you're too fast. Beautiful. Oh yeah. Good to go. All right, guys. Well, that's just a little nidbit video on the 994 stroke diagnostics. It's all pretty cut and dry. I mean, every motor's the same. I don't care if it's a Cadillac Eldorado or a outboard. All you need is spark and fuel and compression, and she's gonna run. Thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.